by turning we come round right. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. When we find ourselves in the place just right, it will be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we will not be afraid, but to turn will be our delight, until by turning we come round right. And when true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we won't be ashamed, but to turn and turn will be our delight, until by turning we come round back. Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
And you wrote that song?
This song is called Shaker Song.
Shaker song.
And this is a song, this is an early American song. And it really is about those American values of simplicity and hard work, which is kind of what I'm seeing around me. I don't know, simplicity in a way, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of extravagance too, but oh boy.
Yeah, getting like simplifying back down to like what just truly makes like us happy at the core, and
That's right.
cultivating this place for us to experience that and experience it together and have like the resources to do so, the structure to do so, the community,
True simplicity.
make it all happen, you know.
And to have so many things here, you don't have to go, other places necessarily. Other
Yeah.
variety and of services and opportunities that are here.
Yeah, it's like a little city unto itself.
That's right, the
Yeah.
kingdom. Yeah.
We like to joke around and call it the sovereign state of the art.
State of the
I
art.
love it. Yeah.
Because we really are living in this state of artistry where we're all constantly working and creating on
Yeah.
things, co-creating, helping each other, just becoming stronger together. And we need our own flag now, like a
Yeah.
state of
Yeah.
the art, and
Yeah.
we can pretend to be a little sovereign country
Like
until
a
the
dragon, or what are you feeling with flag?
oh
Yeah.
well, I guess
Maybe like
definitely
some
a
kind
rabbit, but something
yeah.
else could potentially
Gotta
be
have a rabbit, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe our
Yeah.
like
rainbow white
could be
rabbit.
like a rabbit, like riding an eagle, like flying an eagle or something.
We'll most likely all vote upon it. So we'll
There we
probably
go.
have a family meeting
Oh
and
yeah, we
we'll
could have a
we'll
contest.
discuss
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
everyone would like, and we'll incorporate it together
Yeah.
in this.
It's another thing. So for our listeners who don't know, we're working with a organization called Sapien Network to create
Yeah.
a sort of network of DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations that are sort of a part of this global republic of states of DAOs, that are all sort of sharing, interacting with each other, trading services, and
Just networking, bridging together other similar, like-minded, structures, communities, and
environmental groups, nonprofits. And,
it's like within these communities, we all kind of have things we specialize in, whether it's like how we, serve our community and work together, but then it's like our community kind of is more focused in art, and it's like we're connecting with these other communities that are more focused in things that they can help us with, and it's really amazing to just see how much we can really do, like, while we're connected.
Yeah. So we'll be in need of flags. Each of our little
Yeah, some
nations
flags.
in the sovereign digital realms will need their own flag.
And songs.
We're talking about, advertising our services as a anthem production
Yes.
DAO. Whoever needs musical
national
services
anthems.
and little
Yeah.
choruses and theme songs.
Birthday song.
Birthday songs, yeah. So if anyone out there listening wants to support us and
Yeah,
be
we're
among the first clients of our DAO, then send us a message.
Autonomy is an important part of it too. I mean, there's a connectedness, but then there's the autonomy. I feel like autonomy is something that's really important to think about right now in the world and the way things are. Having autonomy over our minds and our bodies and our destinies, and not relying on these external powers so much.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Not allowing that kind of to define our work, really.
Absolutely. Permissionless expression. I do love that concept of you know, like, this is a place where you can come to express your art freely, you know, whereas, you know, downtown on the sidewalk, the venue owner, business owner, just someone walking by might call you in for a noise complaint or something. Or,
Right.
It's very much in alignment with the whole sort of ethos of blockchain and peer-to-peer networks where we're all equals. You know, it's the ability to sort of transact and exchange value and express art without permission, without rulers, without middlemen who, you know, without censors who are, you know, there to silence us, or
Sharing responsibility, sharing our power.
It is a responsibility to have autonomy. Is a tremendous responsibility, you know.
Yeah.
The authentic use of your voice is a tremendous responsibility.
Absolutely.
To hold space like this too. Resources abound.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your journey, how you wound up down the rabbit hole.
Happily, we'll tell you some details about, probably starting with Cal Clements. You know, I feel Cal in this space so much.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And these, you know, we've got his tapestries here, and the vibe of Rubber Soul was very much the same. It just like, come as you are, whatever you bring into the space is welcome. And no matter how you're showing up that day either, you know, it's like you're always received and supported, and you learn so much through the process. And you're able to teach through the process as well. So
for those who don't know, Cal Clemens is an old Athenian, local Athenian who's been around a long time. Sorry, Cal, if you're listening, I don't mean to call you old, but you've been around a while, and you've left your mark in this city, and we're sort of carrying on this, you know, he did a lot of clown shows and yoga and donation-based events, and had a beautiful yoga studio, and we've kind of adopted some of his stage curtains, and we're kind of carrying on this tradition. Yeah,
and he talked also about a lot about would be like the gift economy.
Yeah.
And that it'd be interesting idea when people show up and they bring what they have, and we're open and honest with one another about what we need, that things just will flow in a much easier way.
Yeah.
And then here now we have our own currency too, right?
Oh,
so
yes,
like,
the rabbit coin.
Yeah, the whole and the NFTs as well.
Yep.
But for me, it was yoga. Yoga is what opened up a lot of doors to musical abilities that I didn't know I had, and to a lot of really beautiful relationships. So.
MYNAWA's been here since the beginning of really the new place, and has helped us with so much advice on just like making decisions together. Has been participating in our meetings, and also hosts a yoga, meditation, and integration circle here for about a year now.
A little over a year.
Has it really been a year?
Yeah. I think so.
I don't know.
Maybe not.
It feels like
at least a year.
Close, if not. Yeah.
But it's, you know, that community has grown so much since the very beginning, and so glad to like open, you know, your services up here for, you know, mediation and counseling and hypnosis. Just so glad you're here, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Victoria. Yeah, it has the journey with the meditation. That was one of the first things when we were walking through the warehouse as it was imagining a space for yoga and meditation.
Yep.
And it's been beautiful to see the community growing there. We do yoga at 5 o'clock every Wednesday, and it's free. And we provide instruction. And we also do meditation at 6, and the integration is at 7. And the integration now, I think, is going to be more of like a Raja Yoga kind of, or looking at sacred texts and then having, seeing what it opens up, you know,
Cool.
Okay.
in the space.
Love it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, and you also have your own band that
Oh, that's right.
you come to our Hidden Hair sessions, our full moon jams. Y'all have been recording in our latest recording sessions and looking to get, create some NFTs with us.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah.
We actually selected one of your songs to be the sample track for our vault. So we've got
Oh my
this.
gosh. Thank you. Which song is
You're
it?
very welcome. You know, I actually forget the name of it.
Uh-huh.
In fact, we should afterwards
I'm afraid
do some work on titling all these tracks because I had no clue. We were kind of in a rush to publish all these songs on the day we said we would.
And you got it done, and
I
that
got
was
it
a
done.
lot of work.
It
too.
was.
I watched you.
Yeah, a lot of
I
mixing
saw
and
a bit of
maxing.
what you did, but
Yeah.
that was a lot of work and setup, and the whole project. It was a huge project.
It is. It was a lot bigger than I anticipated. I was like, whoa.
I saw that.
And then I realized I'm like the only one with these skills who can do it all.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I got it. That's why we're starting a training, like mixing sessions from now on are more like educational seminars where people can
I love that.
listen in and learn, and I'll just
Empower
show them the way
them.
I do it. Yeah.
That knowledge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's so much of I think what we all do here is like not just feeding a man a fish, but teaching them and
Yeah.
giving them the tools of the craft,
Absolutely.
to work with.
And even suggesting like other oceans sufficient.
Absolutely, yeah.
Look over here. It's
Yeah.
very unusual space
Yeah.
to be in.
Yeah.
It's so inspiring. It's an inspirational space for sure. But yeah, the band is we're working very hard. I love my band. I love my bandmates. There's a lot of new material that we're looking at, and the dynamics of the band are fascinating. The whole project has just been fascinating. We started because one of our bandmates was really not feeling well about, and it was me as well. We were all not feeling well about the isolation and the lack of practice, because it was such an important part of all of our lives for such a long time, and then it just dried up, along with just about every other resource that we use to keep ourselves well.
Yeah.
Gyms closed, and all this stuff, coffee shops.
Devastating. Yeah.
Yeah, not a good space to be in psychologically. Actually, for a lot of us, a very dangerous place. So we got together and we started playing music and focusing really on music that just made us feel good.
Yeah.
Songs that lifted our spirits.
At great peril to the public,
Yeah. The archons.
the at that time, during COVID, we were kind of facing the similar
That's right.
issues where we would be called out in public or in private as this super spreader place because we're a group of artists who, at this point, we're all like family. We're like best friends. We're business partners with one another. We're, this is this is our community. This is who we love, who gives us meaning in life. And it was really difficult because we sort of classify as a business, and so we're treated like a gym or something where they tried to force us to close down and to turn people away, to criminalize us, for
Doing business.
And doing business, but doing life, doing love, doing family, the things that everyone else was entitled to do, and just because our family's a little bigger, a little more people, a little looser in the rigid sense of the rigid definition of the word. I really respect you for starting a band at a time when we were all told that that's not okay.
Even singing was one of the things you were not supposed to do.
Right.
Yeah, it was on the list of like touching your face.
Don't sing.
Yeah.
Don't even smile. Keep
No,
your
not-
mask on and
Right.
I think we all can agree singing is one of the only things that really brought us through that
So
time together.
Yes.
Was singing with one another, these special songs that kept us going, kept us feeling connected and one.
Yeah, music is so powerful in that way. It's amazing to share the musical experience with people, and it's something where you can sit down with three people that you know very well, or they could be people you just met and you don't even really need to speak the same language or know anything about each other, but you can enter a form of communication that is really a deep state to be. It can go really deep.
Yeah, absolutely. That kind of, makes me think of some friends. You had mentioned, how isolation is terribly destructive to our mental health, right?
Yeah.
And, just this experience of, operating the space for many years, and throughout, the pandemic and the lockdowns, I witnessed so many of my close friends, our close friends, just completely lose it, not able to care for themselves, take care of their bodies, falling into drug abuse and in and out of rehab centers. Like the devastation, especially to the arts community, where there's a lot of people that do have mental illness, or I like to call it mental, I see it not only as an illness, or like some people might, I don't know, might say disability or something. I see it more as like, I don't know, artists we're all sort of, we've got this existential, this struggle within us, or some great, we're just different, a curiosity, and that's what drives us to want to create art and to express and to experience that sort of just tap into that mystical realm.
That's, I think that's it. It's hard.
And
to
the rest of the world
yeah.
thinks that that we're crazy, or that we're mentally ill, and we're just, maybe it's because we just have deeper, more depth in our emotion and our experience, where we can feel extreme sorrow and depression, and at the same time we feel extreme joy and harmony and bliss through music, and we're able to sort of, whereas the rest of the world is very compressed and rigid, and sort of everything's in a box and copy and paste. And,
I'm thinking about a European artist named Joseph Beuys I learned about in art school, and he had a famous saying. He said, "Everybody's an artist."
Yeah.
And as you're talking, I'm imagining that, like, for me personally, and for a lot of people I know, it's not a choice to be expressive in this way.
Yeah.
It has to happen, otherwise there's an unwellness that starts to take on.
Absolutely.
And I feel like probably everybody to some degree has that need to express, and the way we live now, maybe it's just that people aren't given the space.
Exactly. We all are, these expressive beings, and we're here to, share these experiences through different forms of expression. And I think it's important to note that everyone has these emotions, has these feelings, but haven't been given the space or the structure and the permission, and the way communities have been set up, or family structures have been set up, have given people more isolation in their cubicle, in their small family unit, where they just so many things go into it, but not having these opportunities to fully express themselves.
But there is a correlation, I think, like you're saying, Nini, between those of us who are expressive in this way, and those of us who experience that mental discomfort, however you want to talk about it. It's a really, for me, a challenging thing to talk about in this context, because it doesn't really feel descriptive. But
right.
I was reading that in the Renaissance and in the older systems of medicine, they saw melancholy as really important for spiritual development.
Yeah.
That when we look at the world, and it's a natural response, I think, when I look at the world, to feel a sense of sadness and loss.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then to have a response to it.
And tapping into that sadness has brought us to want to find, I just look up and I see that word happiness, and in my personal journey that was something that really, I had to get to such a low place to really strive for happiness and really find out what that meant for me. And I think that during that time, a lot of us were experiencing that. During this isolation, we had time to think and had time to feel, and it really brought us together because we all aligned, and I think at the core we all have kind of the same needs and the same things that truly give us comfort, the purest form.
And we all had a similar response to, well, maybe to life and to the pandemic. It's like we don't need anybody's permission to be ourselves, and or to do business. I feel like maybe it could be that there are people who want to be expressive but don't feel like they're good enough, or that their voices deserve to be heard, or that what they have to say is not important or beautiful. But
yeah, forever opening up more and more to using our voices to really communicate our feelings and our experiences, our needs, what we don't like.
boundaries. Yeah. So that's a lot of the work right now, for sure.
I feel like the ethos of this space is so very much aligned like with our adoption of blockchain and the sort of philosophy behind that, of permissionlessness, of designing systems that are really ultimately immune from human corruption and greed, which in almost every bureaucracy and organization, no matter how good and pure the aim, they tend to devolve when you sort of concentrate these positions of power into one particular individual. Maybe that person's a great leader, but maybe when they pass the baton, or successive generations, it's like this power it allows for corruption to grow, greed to infiltrate an organization, or for you see this all the time in like regulatory agencies. It's like the corporations just buy the agency, they just buy it out, they elect whom they want to run it, and we pretend like we have all these regulations are good. Well, not if you can just, if this corrupt voting system that we have and gerrymandered election system just allows them to purchase those regulatory seats. You know?
I know. So, and don't get me started on the election.
Yeah, let's not even.
But you're right. Who is in where is autonomy in all of this?
Right.
And why is it that all of this stuff can go on right in front of our faces, and we still don't know who these people are that flew on this plane? We still don't have these answers.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
But now we have these technologies too. Information is not what it used to be. It's a commodity.
That's right. That's right.
And a currency.
And the big ethos, the big sort of mission statement, I think, of blockchain is empowering people, giving them back the sovereignty over their voice, their data, their expression.
Yeah, economic choices.
Their economic choices, their ability to save money, to store value in the midst of unprecedented central bank money printing and inflation that ultimately benefits the 1% most. The banks and ownership class.
Yeah. It's a fascinating system.
What really excites me is like the future of being able to like buy land together and this one unit of individuals, and not just one person having ownership over the land and its resources, but knowing that many people invested not just money but time and energy and all these
sweat equity.
And I trust when people are in the right space. I trust the intelligence within people. We're not. We really at the core we want the same things for ourselves and for our families and our friends.
Yeah.
It's not like we're trying to control things.
Right.
And that all comes from this lack mindset of there's not enough for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and also I think it's like a top-down conditioning too, to obey authority and to not be able to function without authority.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Because then
For
you're
sure.
completely vulnerable to authorities who don't have your best interest at heart.
Right.
Phew.
Yeah. I feel like my job at this point, now that I've spent these 5-10 years sort of gathering all the assets and the knowledge and the space, is to sort of disintegrate away my own responsibilities into the community. This is the idea of sort of progressive decentralization that a lot of other
Well, and then
organizations are
I think
attempting.
in that dynamic, you would get to find out what authentic leadership looks like.
Yeah.
Because now the community it's up to the community to determine your status as
Right.
a leader within the community.
Right.
So it's your vision and your personality and your charisma and your even-handedness that
Mm-hmm.
you're rewarded for.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not going to happen overnight, but I really look forward to learning from other DAOs and organizations out there. The one that comes to mind right now is City DAO. It's a very sort of groundbreaking experiment in decentralized land ownership, which ultimately I feel like is the final state, the goal of Rabbit Hole someday is to be owned and governed collectively on chain, through these decentralized systems that don't rely on the trust of a third party or a middleman or a bank. And I think when we think about how much power has been usurped from us, through the banking system, this fractional reserve lending, where we only get 0.01% interest in our accounts, but they reap unlimited amounts, exponential loans upon loans, debt upon debt, to enrich themselves and to corrupt countries. And I think the power of this decentralized technology, peer-to-peer payments, truly scarce assets like Bitcoin and even art. There's a scarcity to art as a store of value. Depending on on the type of art you're supporting or the
I completely agree with the art. The value of art it feels lost in the structure of our culture right now.
Yeah.
We have these bizarre caricatures of art that are promoted through media that are just sending these messages and the whole thing is suspicious. But then to know so many artists who struggle and who are really talented, but have a difficult time finding their place in the economy of things.
Right.
Because really art, when it's art, it's not really a thing so much. It may be an object, but it's more of an experience.
It's an experience.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's why we're so excited to have just getting away from the algorithms, and being able to have a place where we can put our art and our music and
a synthesis of the digital and the material, right? Which is, I think, why we're trying to make our NFT artworks. They're more like signed copies of art, and the real value, I think, is the fact that it can grant access to, during special events, during our public events, some of which are ticketed. Members who hold our NFTs are allowed access to our backstage lounge.
Right.
For that evening.
Yeah, there's always so much. Bonnaroo was really a success. It was a big success. It was good to see the space and how the festival flowed. It was. I was really impressed with the quality of the talent and the variety of the talent that was there.
So diverse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2-day lineup. That was impressive.
That was really impressive.
Yeah.
And now we have a church starting, Native American
Yes.
church. August 7th will be our first meeting.
Absolutely.
Our brother Robert Costa is the head of the church. He's going to be delivering a message, and we'll be doing music also, and prayers and ceremony.
And a potluck.
And food. Yeah.
Food.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Celebration.
We'll
I love how he worded it as spiritual
celebration
service.
Love it.
To just worship, play music, and share food together. Nourishing food.
We'll have to get him on the podcast.
I would love to see that.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell his vision quest story.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also have a school starting up. It's incredible.
It really does feel like full circle for me. You know, after I was evicted from high school for possessing marijuana, the heinous crime,
Yeah.
of which, you know, there should be no recourse, no chance of
Forgiveness.
forgiveness for this heinous crime. After that, I was actually spending a lot of time in Peru, really opening up my spirituality to the more native and indigenous point of view. You might call it animism or shamanism,
Right.
which is to really behold the earth as a living being, to see the universe as a living entity rather than this cold, dead, meaningless, accidental thing that
Could belong to someone.
yeah, right.
Uh-huh.
But it's really great to, like, you know, because I spent time in spaces sort of like this, community spaces and hostels and micro farm eco villages in Peru, and to see it come full circle is a real joy, you know.
Absolutely.
To sort of invite that indigenous wisdom and that spiritual tradition into our community space.
Right.
To really return this land and this space to our ancestors, our
Yeah.
elder
Absolutely.
brothers of the Native Americans.
And that's what, you know, Robert really talks about is the seventh generation. That's why he named his church the seventh generation. Is
That Hopi prophecy.
yeah, there was a
there shall come
prophecy.
time,
Crazy
seven
verse.
nations of the earth
Yeah.
shall rise
Crazy
together,
verse.
and the rainbow people shall walk amongst us, and
Yeah.
He always tells us it's our
Yeah.
generation.
yeah,
I think things are definitely.
we'd have lots of
Shaking.
rainbows here.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. It's
So many. I painted like a massive room
Yeah.
of rainbows.
You can purchase our NFTs and get access to this rainbow room at any time.
Yeah.
www.rabbitholestudios.org/vault. That's where you can listen to JC's music as well,
That's
MYNAWA.
right. Yeah.
You can listen to that sample. You can buy a key to the vault. Keep it in your wallet. It's yours forever. You can choose to resell it if you wish. It's an investment in our community and in our record label, and gets you access to the Rainbow Room.
Yeah, and you can come make music with us at the full moon.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
We make spontaneous music all day long, and some is more intentional, but yeah, there's many opportunities to come to our free events.
I feel like we could just go on and on.
I
and
know.
on. Is there anything that you want to bring to the table, JC? Or
I think that we talked about yoga at 5:00 Wednesdays, meditation at 6. We talked about the open mic Tuesday
right, on
nights.
Tuesdays, yep.
And all the exciting things happening in the space. This has been a really interesting experience sitting here with the lights and the camera. I appreciate
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah.
And, thank you.
Thank you, Cassie.
Oh,
yeah,
gosh,
our-
yes.
Our friend Cassie
Yeah.
Chantel set this all up for us.
Thank you, Cassie.
Um,
There's so much talent happening here. It's amazing what's happening.
It is. It is. We've really reached escape velocity, you might say. What about where can people learn more about you? Website, contact?
Oh yeah, my website is MYNAWA.one.
MYNAWA
That's
dot ONE.
Correct. Yeah.
Lovely. What does that mean again, MYNAWA?
MYNAWA. Well, you were talking about the indigenous people in Peru and in other
Uh-huh.
places, and I was with the Yawanawa in Brazil, and had
Tell
a
us about
similar experience of community.
Yeah.
And earlier when I was talking about art, the value of art in this community being, how art is seen in the current social structure, I think community is also grossly undervalued and not really experienced in the way that it was by our ancestors.
Absolutely.
And I got to see that in Brazil with the Yawanawa and how they care for one another and how just interwoven, everybody's interdependent.
Yeah.
You know, there's not like it's not a greedy, there's no room for greed.
Dog eat dog, individualist, you know, man, whoever can steal or take the most wins. It's not a winner take all thing, you know.
But it was a beautiful experience, and such a valuable lesson. So many valuable lessons from that experience.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's where the word came from, MYNAWA. When I was there, the shaman there, she gave me the name MYNAWA as a Yawanawa name. And she told us that the name is that there's a tribe. It's one tribe, and it's called MYNAWA, and that the MYNAWA is the origin of Pachamama. That when where we are together in MYNAWA, everybody's there, connected. And this is my understanding of what she told me. That in MYNAWA, everyone is connected. It's one tribe, and that in that place we dream of a place where we can be different, we can be disconnected from one another, where we can experience what it's like, so that when you look at a person, you're not aware that you're looking at yourself. You think you're looking at someone else. And then what can happen in a world like that? Because all this crazy stuff can happen. All of it, the good and the bad. And what an opportunity for growth. So that's what I called the band. We called MYNAWA, and we do some music from the Yawanawa as well. The band. And then also sometimes I've been known to use my Yawanawa name in this context as well. So we got one tribe, and it's a good reminder. It's a good reminder to me, to stay present with the fact that it's all connected all the time. That no matter how I feel about things, that it doesn't change anything. Really, that connection is there, and resources are available.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, JC.
Yes.
This has been a Rabbit Hole Studios DAO podcast.
Yes.
I'm your host, Nini.
And Vivi.
And we look forward to next time. Thank you. I think we should, real quick, while it's still filming, do an introduction, because I forgot to do this. So.
Okay.
And we'll just say you'll play a song. Did you feel good about that song? You want to keep that one? Okay. Then we'll
I could see fading into it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Rabbit Hole Studios podcast. We're here today with JC Jones.
Hello.
And we'd like to start this episode out with a song. Would you want to say a quick introduction about the song?
Wonderful. Yeah. This. Thank you. This is a Shaker song. This is a song, an early American song, about what it's like to be free.
Let's begin.